Alright guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be de-winterizing our Coleman Lantern 17B. It's pretty straightforward, pretty easy. Really the key is just to get all the antifreeze out of the lines. So we're going to start right here at the water hookups. If you winterized through your freshwater tank, you're going to want to put 4 or 5 gallons in here and run your pump and pump the antifreeze out of your water pump. But if you're like me, we didn't use our freshwater tank last year. This is a brand new camper to us last year, so like I said, we didn't use this last year at all. All we did was the city water connection. So what you're going to want to do is just take your garden hose and hook it up to the city water connection to start with. So once you got that hooked up, I don't have a pressure regulator on this, so I'm just going to barely crack open the water lines just to get kind of light pressure on the incoming water. That way we don't damage any of the plumbing inside. Alright, so once you got your water hooked up and it's turned on, you're going to want to head inside and start pushing some water through the different fixtures we have inside. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start from the farthest point away from the city connection, and that's at the toilet. It's the last line in the whole line of everything. So there should be some antifreeze in there from winterizing that keeps your seals from going bad on your toilet. And like I said, this should be the most antifreeze that we get out of anything, because this is running the whole line right now. And there will be a lot of air in it right now. I should have primed my hose a little bit better, but and that's just a lot of air coming through our lines. So we'll jump over to the shower. You can see there's some pink in the bottom. That was because I changed the shower head to a little bit better one than the one that comes in it. We actually caught it on sale at Camping World and decided to pick it up. But I always like to set it in the bottom. That way it doesn't spray everywhere. And then we're just going to run through the hot and cold. So that's the hot line. And we're going to let it run until it runs clear. And that's looking pretty good, so I'm going to shut it off and run the cold. Kind of rinse the tub down too while you're at it. Okay, that's looking pretty good. I'll turn the hot back on just to double check it. And there's still a little bit of pink in there coming through. So we'll shut that off, and I will actually hit the toilet again. And it's looking really clean. So we're going to back out and come over to the sink. Do the same thing, hot. Throwing me for a loop here. check. Looks good. Now, if you've noticed, I haven't messed with anything with the water heater because we have it bypassed, as well you should. And the access panel for the bypass system is actually the panel directly under the refrigerator. And there's a diagram on it, how to use it. But the direction of the valve is the direction of the flow. So right now it's going straight in line here. So when you turn it, when I turn this, it should start filling the water heater. And I'm doing this last, that way there's no antifreeze going into the water heater. So it'll bypass the water heater to everything, and then that's why we did the lines first. So I'm just gonna flip these, and as you can hear, there should be some water going in there. And then I'm just going to turn the hot on too, that way whenever we get to the campsite I don't have to mess with anything, and this is ready to go. Okay, so the last point we're going to hit is on the outside, and it's our low point drains. They're located on the back passenger side corner. It's these blue and red lines sticking out the bottom. I've got my hose shut off, so there shouldn't be much pressure. I say that and it'll probably get me all wet here, but there should be quite a bit of water in there, because like I said, I just ran all this through here. But I'm just making sure all the antifreeze is out, and that way it doesn't come backwards into the system for some reason. And once these have slowed enough for me to put the caps on, that will complete flushing of the lines. And that looks pretty good there. So we'll just recap them. And I haven't had any problems with just having them hand tight with no Teflon tape. They've stayed sealed pretty well. And then a couple more things that you kind of need to check on your first trip out is you're going to want to check your water heater. You're going to want to pull your anode rod out just to check the condition of it. Ours is an 1 1/16" socket. I've already done it. I did it a couple weeks ago when I pulled the camper out. I wanted to make sure that it was in good shape, and then if I needed one, I'd order it. But mine was still in good shape from last year. But that's just one thing you want to check. If you've had it in storage for a while, you're going to want to check the condition of your tires. I have a new set, and I'm going to have two spares for this. Definitely check your pressure, and that's every trip out. You should check your pressure. And then if you have the bearing caps like we do, there's a grease insert in there. If you're comfortable with it, you're going to want to grease those and make sure your bearings are good to go. What else? You're going to want to check the condition of your battery. Mine's been on trickle charge all winter, and we also installed a battery shut off earlier as we were doing our upgrades. I've got a propane cover. You're always going to want to make sure that that's topped off. And we got a neat little indicator. If you can see it in there, it's just a pressure gauge. It shows you how much is in there. It's just a full or empty one, but it's kind of handy, especially with this cover. I don't know how heavy it is, so it's always nice to check that out. Make sure your cord's in good condition. We had ours strung out because I had power coming out to it this winter, so I definitely did a check on that before I pushed it back in there. But You want to make sure your prongs are in good shape and all that good stuff. Oh, what else? If you're comfortable with it, I would suggest getting on the roof. Even if you've had a cover on it or have had it covered, I would suggest getting on the roof just to do a quick inspection on your own. Like I said, if you feel comfortable. If not, you may call somebody, a friend or whatever, and have them come over and check it out. But what you're looking for is cracks in the sealant around the edge and around all the stuff that's screwed to the roof. I always check the functionality of everything before we go. Awnings, your step, make sure your hitch is in good condition, whether you got a sway control or a weight distribution hitch. You want to make sure that stuff's still in good working order. If you got an electric jack, might want to grease it. I'm not sure. We still have the manual one, so I sprayed some dry lube on the top of the handle. Hopefully it makes its way down. Other than that, I think that's about it. A lot of that stuff should be pre-trip anyways, as far as tire condition, bearings, your jack, and just some functionality pieces, the awning and what have you. So a couple more things you may want to check too. Let me turn some lights on in here. If you have the capabilities and you can plug it in at your house, depending on the weather, I guess, check your air conditioner, make sure it's going to work. Check your, we have a little fireplace. You may want to check that, or a furnace if you have it. Make sure the microwave works. Make sure your refrigerator is cooling down. Mine's been plugged in for about 2 days now, and I like to check it in the freezer to make sure there's a little bit of ice buildup in there. And there's just a little bit of ice buildup. It's not crazy. I've got it set at 6. I think that's about it. We're super excited to get back out, and we're going to be going in 2 weeks to Florida, the Panhandle, Gulf Shores area. So follow us along there. We'll be on Instagram and Facebook. The Instagram handle is the same as our channel. It's at Small Family Big Dreams. If you guys are interested, if not, totally understand. But we'll have day-to-day updates. Probably middle of the trip, we'll do some campsite reviews when we get home, just to see how we liked everything. I can't imagine we're not going to like it. Hey, thanks for following us along. Hope this video helped you out. I know a lot of us are kind of new to the camping thing, so if this helped you, make sure you give the video a big thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button, and make sure you hit the bell for all notifications. That way you get all our campsite reviews and all the fun we're having. We got some more stuff planned for the camper, so you can follow us along with that stuff too as we continue. But again, thanks for following us along, and we'll see you at the campsite.